On March 16th, 2018, both my main and my Iron Man RuneScape accounts were hacked. Now, many times when people are hacked in RuneScape, they tend to blame things that are out of their control as to why they got hacked. Whether it be that there's no delay in removing the authenticator from your account, or they turn to blame the recovery system, saying that it has its flaws. However, that's not what I'm going to do in this video. First off, I want to admit that it was due to my own negligence that my accounts were hacked. However, I want to use this experience as more of a learning experience for people out there because I think my situation is a little bit more relatable and maybe not as obvious to everyone. So what I want to do is explain how I got hacked to the best of my knowledge and explain how you can prevent the same thing from happening to your account. Now, I'm not going to say that my advice is going to 100% secure your account forever, but any little bit of security you can add to your account is going to help in the long run. So first off, let me explain what I believe happened. So I have two RuneScape accounts, my main account and my Iron Man account. These accounts each have their own email attached to them. Now, my mains account had an email that was relatively secure. It had two-factor authentication set up, it had a unique password, etc. And the account also had two-factor authentication set up, as well as a unique password. Now, my Iron Man account has been an account I've historically not cared too much about. And due to this, I've left the email on that account the same since that account's creation. And at the time of the creation, I only had one other email that I had created. Now, unfortunately, this email provider didn't even have the option of two-factor authentication as well as some other security measures, so I was fully aware that this account was not as secure as my other account. To add on to this, the PIN to my Iron Man account would be easily guessable if you had the email it was attached to. However, that's not inherently how I got hacked. So in the back of my mind, I've always known of these security flaws and have always known that this account could have gotten hacked. However, I've never been worried about it. This account has never had too much time devoted to it, and I've just straight out not really cared about it over the length of the time I've had the account or the time I've played the account on old school RuneScape. However, there was one giant security flaw that I had completely overlooked just due to my negligence of reviewing the security details. And that flaw is the recovery email for my mains account was this insecure email account. The reason it was set up like this is when I had these two accounts, they were really the first two email accounts I ever really used actively. On top of that, back when I did used to use these accounts regularly, security was never really of importance to me. I was just not at a point in my life where I was even aware of possible security flaws and what it could do. So when I had these two accounts and when these were my main email accounts, they were each other's recovery email addresses. And what this giant flaw allowed a hacker to do is once he recovered the insecure email, he was able to remove the authenticator and recover the password of my mains account and get access to it. He was able to change the recovery email on my RuneScape account. He's able to change the password, and he was able to get into both of these accounts. Now, currently, I have access of both of these accounts, and they're more secure in their email processes. However, I thought that this situation may be a bit more relatable to other people, since a lot of us are playing old school RuneScape on old accounts that could be connected to old emails. So what I want to do is kind of go through 3 things that you should review in order to make sure that your security is up to date and reduce the chances of something like this happening to your account. So the first area that you should really go over and review is the security of your email. Like I said, the main reason that I got hacked was the negligence to review the security information and the recovery email of both these accounts. It just had never crossed my mind and I had never thought about it since I really forgot when I set these accounts up. So it was just never anything I reviewed. So my first suggestion is review these account settings. Review the recovery process of your email provider. Make sure you have two-factor authentication enabled on your email. Make sure you're using unique passwords, and make sure your recovery email is one that is also secure and has these measures. Doing this will allow your email to stay secure and not allow people to get into it and get your account. The second thing that you should review is the security on your RuneScape account. First thing, make sure you have a unique password for any RuneScape accounts you have. Make sure that you have two-factor authentication set up. And honestly, something that would have helped me and sped up the process a lot is review the recovery process of old school RuneScape and what it would take to get your account back. You don't have to complete the form, but go through the process of recovering your account and note down all the information you would need to know. Save it in a secure place. So if the unfortunate situation happens where your account is compromised, you have all the information readily available in order to recover your account. This includes past payment information, past emails, past passwords. If you can start thinking about that now when you're not in a stressful situation, it will be much easier to come up with those answers rather than waiting until you're hacked and having to get all of that during the heat of the moments where you may forget things or you may be too stressed or too worried to remember everything accurately. So I think going through that recovery process will really help you if this situation ever happens. And the third thing that I want to suggest that you review the security of is your cell phone. If you have all of these two-factor authentication set up and all of these security measures in place, they'll mean almost nothing if someone can get control of your cell phone number and really of your SIM card. So there's a few things that you can do in order to make sure that your cell phone cannot be forged. The simplest thing that you can do is add a lock to your SIM. This can be done in most Android and iPhones. I believe in almost every phone out there. You can add an up to 8-digit PIN on your SIM card itself. Not your lock screen, but your SIM card. This will mean that if someone tries to remove your SIM card and put it in theirs, or they try to mimic your SIM card, they won't be able to without that 8-digit PIN. So having that PIN on your SIM card will be a huge step in securing your cell phone. Another thing that you can do in order to make sure that no one is able to hack your cell phone number and get access to your information is set up a PIN with your cell phone provider. Most major cell phone providers allow you to set up a 4 to 8-digit PIN, so when you call them and actually talk to them in person, you have to give them this number before you can make any changes on your account. And having this will make it so that if someone tries to social engineer your information and actually call your cell phone provider, they won't be able to access your account without this PIN. And I think it's very important because there is a big problem with this a few years back on YouTube, where popular YouTube channels were getting hacked because of a vulnerability in T-Mobile's process. And one of the things that they did to prevent this from happening again is implement this verbal PIN system. And many other major cell phone providers also have this. And I think it's very easy to set up and very important to do. And really, if you can review the security of those three areas, of your email, of your RuneScape account, and of your cell phone, you will greatly reduce the situations or the possibility of your account being hacked. And at the end of the day, if you play this game and put hours into this game, your RuneScape account means a lot to you. I know it's just pixels, but it's time invested, and losing that amount of time, it can be very detrimental and very disheartening. So I highly suggest that you look into making sure that all of your accounts are as secure as possible. Now, this also has the benefits of securing anything else attached to those emails, but who cares about real life? We're here for RuneScape, so let's just focus on RuneScape and not worry about the outside world for now. But I just kind of want to end this video and just let you guys know that my accounts are now secure. I didn't lose anything off of my accounts since I did have a secure PIN on my main account, and I have a paranoid habit of always depositing everything into my bank before I log out. The hacker wasn't able to get anything off my main account. However, like I said, the PIN on my Iron Man was very easy to guess, and he was able to get into that account, and he really used that to try to threaten me to give my mains PIN away. Now, it didn't really affect me at all because I don't care too much about my Iron Man account. And in the end, the only things that he dropped were a mining pet, which again, I don't care too much about pets anyway, my Void, and I believe my Defenders that I got on my Iron Man. But it really got me thinking, let's just finish the job. I've always had the idea and always kind of wanted to do a from scratch series, so why not do it now? I've never had much motivation to play on this account because it's just littered with different metas, and I pick it up for a few months every year, and I've just never had a coherent goal on it because of that. So why not just cut the crap, start from scratch, and just go for an endgame Iron Man account? And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start up a new series where I take this Iron Man account, drop everything with a few stipulations, but drop pretty much everything and just start from scratch with some new goals, some coherent goals, and just see where I can get it. Now, I do still plan to play on my main account, and the goal really is to max. However, since I really don't want to borrow gear from friends at this point for obvious reasons, I really don't want to work on Inferno. I had been borrowing a Kodai and an Ellie from a friend, and honestly, without those items, I know I could do the Inferno, but at this point, it's probably just worth it to wait until I can get some higher tier gear. So that's why I've had the main goal or the side goal of maxing, if you've seen my last progress video. So what I'll be doing is focusing on my Iron Man for some active content and then doing some AFK skills on the side on my main. So I'll be playing both hand in hand. So I don't really have the details on how this Iron Man account is going to work right now. I want to write up some rules and figure out what my actual goals are. But that's the idea. I'll be dropping most everything from this bank, trading anything valuable over to my main, and going from there. So if you guys are interested in a from scratch series from an Iron Man account that's pretty much mid-level, mid-game, I think he's at 1400 total level for the most part, then you're in luck, because that series is hopefully going to be coming within the next week or so to this channel. But that is all I have for this video. I hope you're able to either learn something or just reaffirm to yourself that your accounts are secure. Again, taking 5 to 10 minutes to review your settings now can save you hours of headache if this unfortunate situation ever does happen to you. You know, everyone can forget something. This can really happen to anyone if you're not fully secure, you're not fully aware of what's going on. So I highly suggest you just take a few minutes and review the settings of each of your email and RuneScape accounts. But that is all I have for this video. Like I said, I hope you guys are excited for a from scratch series on an Iron Man account. A little bit of a different style of content for me, but I'm kind of excited for it. But that's enough rambling. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the day, and I will see you next time.